Hello, and welcome to another trip report. Today, we are flying from Thessaloniki to Stuttgart via Athens on Aegean Airlines. The airport here has been undergoing some major construction, and it's my first time flying from here after the addition of the new passenger terminal. Aegean uses it for check-in, so let's head there and check it out. The bus from the city drops you off right in the middle between the old and the new terminal, so it's just a short walk. As I said, Aegean uses the new Terminal 2 for check-in. There were separate counters for economy and business class, as well as status card holders. When I arrived, there was no queue at all, so I could check my bag right away. Business class passengers also have access to the fast track, which is easy to find in the new terminal. Security wasn't all that busy though, so even without fast track there wouldn't have been much of a wait. Let's use the time and look at our route today. First, we'll be on a short hop to Athens, where I will transfer onto a flight to Stuttgart. Total trip time is about 6 hours, with a connection time of 2 hours and 15 minutes in Athens. Both flights are scheduled to be on Airbus A320-CEOs, so I wasn't able to get one of the newer Neo aircraft this time. After security, I ended up in a duty-free shopping area, as is the case with many other European airports. I still had some time before my flight, so I decided to check out the new Aegean Business Lounge, which has just been recently opened. The lounge is located underneath the main departure area on ground level. The staircase to the lounge is next to gate 12 and is quite easy to find if you follow the signage. Entering the brand new lounge, I immediately fell in love with the tarmac view. You are quite close to the aircraft here, and being on ground level gives you more perspective of how big even the smaller planes are. The seating is comfortable, and there are many options for lounging, eating, or getting some work done. There are plenty of power outlets, and charging a mobile device via USB is no problem either, regardless of where you sit. The food selection, however, isn't that great. It has some nice touches in offering warm, savory and sweet Greek pies, but other than that, there is only cold food like little sandwiches and bread. The fresh fruit had either been cooled below 0 degrees Celsius or it wasn't fresh, as they want you to think, but some fruit pieces in my cup were half frozen. I think there's definitely some potential to improve here. There also is another point in this lounge being on ground level, and that is the ability to board directly from this lounge. Thessaloniki has no jet bridges, and all boarding is done by bus, which means that passengers on Aegean and Olympic Air flights will be able to board directly from here, either by walking straight to the plane or by a separate bus. Boarding commenced on time, with passengers in the lounge being the first ones able to board. Since my plane was literally in front of the lounge, it didn't even take half a minute to get to the plane. I love being able to board like this, since this gives you great views of the tarmac and the planes. Upon entering the plane, we received a sanitary wipe. It didn't take long to find my seat for this short hop, 3F. This is a traditional European business class, with the seats themselves being the same as in economy, just with a free middle seat and more legroom. The legroom is actually quite impressive, and I think even very tall people will fit without any problems. There are individual air outlets and reading lights above the seats, as is usual. The armrests also have a mechanism that allows you to slide them to the side a little, which increases your effective seat width by about 10 centimeters, which is nice. I found the writing on the air sickness bag to be rather amusing, although I don't really want to know what people have been putting inside it, to be honest. We pushed back on time and quickly took off. Not even 10 minutes after we took off, the meal service for business class started, which consisted of 2 open-faced sandwiches, one with sesame-crusted chicken and one with Greek cheese. I actually enjoyed them quite a bit, especially the cheese sandwich. You also get a drink of your choice and a small piece of milk chocolate. As you can see, there are real plates and glassware, as well as metal cutlery. Very nice. The flight attendants were quite busy on this flight, since we started descending as soon as the meal service finished. Soon enough, we were coming in to land in Athens. As expected, we parked at a remote stand, so we would have to ride a bus to the terminal building. Besides auto-rotate being a terrible feature of my GoPro, I didn't find anything to complain about on this flight. The flight attendants were very welcoming and friendly, and the seats aren't too bad, especially with that much legroom. Business class passengers get their own bus, so it was really quite empty. I wonder if they couldn't just use a minivan or something, but whatever. By the way, the person with the blue vest is a connection ambassador from Aegean. They check for passengers with tight connections and help them getting to their connecting flight in time, just like Star Alliance's connection service and OneWorld's global support. I don't dislike bus rides even in an economy class, as you get great views of the tarmac. But not being squeezed in between other human beings makes it a lot more comfortable, obviously. I had about 2 hours to my next flight, but I decided to head directly to my gate. I wasn't too hungry, so I just skipped the lounge and sat near a window with a nice view. Soon enough, our plane for the flight to Stuttgart arrived. It's an Airbus A320 CEO with sharklets. Obviously I had to ruin something, so I messed up the video format of the boarding footage. No idea how that happened, really. The cabin and the seat are the same as in the previous flight, so I won't go over them again. Here is a close-up of the mechanism that gives you the extra seat width though. Before we departed, menu cards were handed out. Since Aegean offers pre-ordering of your warm meal on flights of this length, I had already booked mine. When you pre-order the main course, you have 3 instead of the 2 choices on board. Apparently it's always chicken, fish and veal you can choose from, as this was the case on my outbound trip as well. Again, we pushed back on time, and it didn't take long before we took off. The meal service started soon enough, and I received my nourishment. Again, it is all served on real plates, and there is of course metal cutlery. Besides the main dish that I pre-ordered, we received a salad with a cute bottle of olive oil and balsamic vinegar, some warm bread, cheese with crackers, and a chocolate cake. The chicken was cooked nicely, and the sauce had quite an intensive flavor, which went well together. The salad seemed quite fresh, and the cheese was surprisingly good. So overall, this was a very nice meal. With the meal, there also was a free choice of drinks. Here is a tribute to the creator of the trip reports I watched back when I was still a child. SF Flyer 123, I hope you're doing well. A flight attendant came around offering tea and coffee after the meal service, but I opted out, instead enjoying the view out the window. I then found out that this flight has in-flight entertainment, which is provided via Wi-Fi. You have access to magazines, newspapers, games, and even an in-flight map. There is no data connectivity, however, or I was just too stupid to find the option. The in-flight map is nice, and it's even interactive, so you can scroll around the map if you are bored. I also had to try one of the games. I remember playing this in school, actually. Responsiveness is no problem either. Screw this. I spent the rest of the flight looking out the window and enjoying the view. It felt good to be back on an airplane after so long. Hopefully, I can have some more flights this year. We'll see. Soon enough, we were coming in to land at Stuttgart Airport. Today we landed on runway 07, so we had a relatively long taxi to the gate. Although passengers board through the jet bridge, deboarding happens via buses now. I wonder if this is because of COVID. Again, there was a separate bus for business class passengers, which brought the few of us to the arrivals area. So, that was it. My first flight in more than a year. It was quite fun, and I hope you enjoy the new format. I certainly didn't enjoy hearing my voice over and over while editing this. Let me know in the comments what you think of it. I have some more travel planned for this year, so keep your eyes open. Thank you for watching, and as always, I wish you safe travels, and I'll see you in the next video.